Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to our virtual open house. We're so happy to have you here with us today. Before we get going, I'd like to take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Ileana, and I am the Fund Development Director here at Santa Cruz Community Ventures. A little bit about myself. My family immigrated to this part of California during the Bracero movement from Michoacan. And my mom did something unconventional in that when she found out she was pregnant with me, she went from California to Mexico, had me in Mexico, and brought me back to the Central Coast when I was 2 months old. So I'm definitely a lifelong resident. Spanish was my first language. I learned English in an all English speaking classroom. And after that, my Spanish stagnated as my education took form in English. And then I spent my freshman year of high school in Mexico, where once again I was forced to up my game in Spanish to really complete my studies and do well in that kind of environment. So I know personally firsthand what it feels like to navigate new systems, to navigate asking for help in a different language in which you don't know how things are supposed to work and no one is around to explain it to you. And it's particularly important for me because I connect to my identity and to my culture through language. And so one of the things that really attracted me to Ventures was that all of our programming and all of our curriculum is accessible in whatever language our clients are comfortable in, whether that be English or Spanish. And if it's an indigenous language, we provide a translator. So there really is no barrier to access for information. And that translates to a plethora of opportunities. And once Ventures delivers that initial programming, it consistently works with its participants and with its clients to talk about the systems and talk about changing them and talking about what we need as a community to feel welcome and to feel as if we're all equal and included in shaping and forming our areas of residence. And I'd like to begin the next part of our meeting with a big thank you to our village of supporters. We are just so proud and happy to be learning from you and with you and in partnership with you. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for being part of our village. And now I'd like to say we appreciate having you as our partner, and we miss being with you in person and connecting with you. And since we can't bring our workspace since we can't bring you to our workspace, we're bringing our workspace to you. Before we delve into today's action-packed agenda, I'd like to let you know that today's meeting will be recorded and will be shared with you and others after the meeting. I'd also like to review just a few house rules. I will be monitoring the chat for any kinds of questions or comments, so please feel free to participate that way. You can also ask questions as they arise. You can, down at the bottom, you'll see a happy face with a plus sign. You can click on reactions and then share, you push the button to raise your hand or share how you're reacting to the information we're providing you with. If you have any technical difficulties, please private message Lucia de la Torre and she can help you. And then to cut down on background noise, we ask that you mute your mic unless you're speaking. In terms of your camera, you're welcome to have it on or off, whatever works for you. But if you are speaking, please turn it on as it helps build that sense of community and conversation that we're looking for the space today. And finally, please note, we value diversity and the ability of all communities to contribute and generate alternatives to our current extractive economic framework. We believe in the wisdom of our collective and individual lived experience, and as such, we ask all participants to contribute respectfully and hold the intent of this space. We're here to share and learn as we seek to construct a solidarity economy based on love and justice for our community. And with that, I'll turn it over to Maria.
Thanks, Ileana, and welcome everybody. We are so glad to have you here today. I'm excited for you to meet our staff and learn about our approach to community equity. As Ileana mentioned, my name is Maria Cadenas, and I'm the Executive Director of Santa Cruz Community Ventures. Before moving into our agenda, I wanted to take a moment to recognize that today is Cesar Chavez Day, a day to honor and celebrate the birth and legacy of civil rights and labor movement activist Cesar Chavez. What I find most inspiring about this day is that it is a reminder of the legacy of people in the shadows working together, including women like Dolores Huerta and the Filipino-American workers, in an effort to create a more equitable world, a world where labor and laborers are valued. This is the same reasons why I joined Ventures. Since 1989, Ventures has worked to build a compassionate and equitable local economy that contributes to the region's well-being through financial capability, asset building, and advocacy. At our core, we help families understand and use their economic power to create thriving communities where zip code, gender, race, immigration status, or age do not dictate income or wealth. We believe strongly that our work should be by and for the community we serve. As someone that moved to the US when I was 11 years old, and as a first-generation college graduate, the work we do is personal. I am proud of what my parents and I have accomplished, but I also recognize the blessings, gifts, and sheer luck that made it possible. I believe that living well should not be a result of luck, but rather an expectation for all of us. SCCV is a nonprofit that serves as a vehicle to move toward that vision, and that work is informed by the following key assumptions. It all starts with love, dignity, and respect for people and planet. Money and how it is earned, used, and implemented is a key component to building a vibrant society. The current economy is doing exactly what it was designed to do: accumulate wealth for the few like an untethered game of Monopoly. Social systemic oppressions, including race and gender, are replicated and augmented through the current economic system and related policies. This we have seen more clearly during the COVID-19 pandemic. Local economies provide the greatest return and align best in creating well-being. And money and financing are not well understood, and there's a level of mystification around the topic that prevents civic engagement. These assumptions are ones we use to design and achieve the goals here at Community Ventures. And these goals include our organizational excellence to strengthen our organizational income streams and governance structure. And that means questioning what is the best way that we can ensure that we replicate those values in the structure of our board, and our hiring processes, and our employee handbooks. We work on asset building to design and implement innovative programs that help address wealth gaps, contribute to a new economy, and build family well-being. This doesn't mean that we always start from scratch. On the contrary, we look at the ingredients that are in place and make sure that we combine them differently to make sure that we move to that solidarity economy. We work on financial capability to increase families' understanding and their use of economic power while contributing to their stability. And we do advocacy to provide education, research, policy work, and outreach to develop strong local economies while increasing civic engagement and participation. At Ventures, we work to reimagine and bring forth regional economic systems that uplift our entire community. We are always seeking to grow and learn, grow or network like-minded organizations and people, grow the resources available to support inclusive ideas, learn from what has worked and what hasn't, learn from each other. We work in ways that are family-centered and culturally appropriate, remove system-level barriers to economic equity, provide leadership development and financial education for children and youth, including our staff, and that goes into our internship program. Develop new financial and asset building vehicles, and lift up and leverage the great work already being done. Today, we give you a glimpse into our world. We love our people, our planet, our community. We know that there are constructive, community-driven approaches that can transform current extractive structures and build a solidarity economy. From our big picture dreams to our everyday to-do list, we value transparency, trust, collaboration, and that's exactly what you see from us today. If you have any questions or comments during today's tour, please share with us. We are here to grow and learn. And with that, and without further ado, I want to introduce you to Luis for the first stop of our tour.
Thank you, Maria. Hello, everyone. My name is Luis. I was raised here in Salinas, California, and I have tremendous pride being from the Monterey Bay area. I spent a portion of my youth working with local nonprofit building healthy communities, as well as the city of Salinas. And I joined Ventures because I saw an opportunity not only to grow under the amazing leadership of this organization, but also serve one of the hardest working and at times forgotten communities here in Monterey Bay. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Our first stop today, as Maria mentioned, is a look at Undocumented Monterey Bay. I've worked closely with this program for most of last year. I came in part-time during the month of July, and I was offered a full-time position in October. And DocuFund was launched in March of 2020 as a wage replacement program for our undocumented friends and neighbors who were being left out and left behind from economic recovery measures. We have our funders to thank for their contributions in turning this vision into a reality. This was only meant to be a 3-month program with our partner organizations, but it quickly evolved into a year-long effort that we're still engaging in. We structured a DocuFund to meet community needs and refined our approach based on feedback from our partners, data collections, and the stories we've heard while engaging with the community we serve. In this past year, we've been able to distribute millions of dollars and help out thousands of families. Here's a brief summary of our impact. Recently, our efforts have been focused on creating and maintaining a relationship with our clients. We've reached out to them via phone calls, text messages, and even mail, whether it's about COVID safety, housing laws, or reminding them to file their taxes. The common response we've gotten in our communication efforts is a sense of gratitude that we not only provided economic support, but more importantly, that we have made genuine effort to check on the well-being of our clients. These are people who have become accustomed to being an afterthought in their community. As you can see, the quote there, it says, gracias por no olvidarnos, o no olvidar de nosotros, which quickly translates into thank you for not forgetting about us, which is something we've heard over and over again when we've been making these communication efforts. And while DocuFund has been great and a successful program in its own manner, we realize that relief aid is not enough in the grand scheme of what Ventures is hoping to accomplish. We needed an opportunity not only to work closer with our clients to make a lasting impact. So with the vision of our leadership and support of our partners, we developed the ALAS program, which Claudia will talk about a little bit more.
Yes, thank you, Luis. Good morning. And thank you, Luis, for reminding us how powerful our work can be and how important it is to create programs for our community. Hello, everyone. My name is Claudia. I'm so happy to be here this morning with all of you and share my experience working with and for our wonderful community. During this 5 years working at Santa Cruz Community Ventures, I've been learning a lot about our community and its needs. I have met families with incredible stories that will move you. They are stories that talk about their financial fears, discrimination, and abuse from predatory lenders. At the same time, I hear and see families have high hopes and dreams for them and their children. These dreams are like yours and mine, including savings for their retirement, sending their kids to college, and owning a home. This is what we do here. This is what we do here at Santa Cruz Community Ventures. I'm so honored to be able to work with them and help them to reach their financial goals through our programs. In January of this year, 2021, we started, as Luis just mentioned, the ALAS pilot program, which it has its roots in DocuFund. In this program, I'm working with 15 families that met the specific criteria, and we will have a six-month duration. Families, these 15 families are receiving a monthly stipend, which is designated to mimic a guaranteed income model. The core benefit of this ALAS program is to support families and empower them to gain financial stability. And as I go through the program, collecting data, I'm working also with a UCSC graduate student who has experience in guaranteed income models. And I'm hearing stories and experiences from the participants and how we are creating an impact in their family and their financial stability. And just for mention some, I have a participant in this group that says, during many months I've been having headaches, and thank you to the stipend, I was able to go to the doctor and find out that I need glasses. So I'm free and I feel better. I'm free from headaches and I feel better now. So that's made me feel like we are doing something for our community. We are helping those communities. Another example is this single mom with 4 children from Oaxaca, Mexico. And she said to me, during many years, I believed that I was born just to work in the field, picking strawberries, because I don't speak English and I don't know how to read or write. Now I feel capable of looking for another job that could offer me more financial stability and help me to achieve my goals. I'm learning a lot about how to better manage my money. That's awesome. And those are the things that I'm so happy to hear from our community. A third example is a lady that she's very thankful, and she said to me, "Thank you for giving us this space and your time. Before I felt lost, I didn't know how important it is to have a budget and manage my credit. Thank you for being that helping hand." So as you can see, I've been moved by the connections I have made with these 15 families and more families that I've been working through my 5 years adventures. They have trust me and trust in me and guide and to guide them through this process. And I have learned a lot on this journey as well. And I'm looking forward, and I want to see these families to succeed in their financial goals. And I hope to see them as advocates for future ALAS families too.
Thank you, Claudia. That helping hand is a great visual, and I want to underscore for everybody here that how we do things at Ventures can often be more impactful than what we do day to day as an organization. Clients being able to recognize parts of their stories and struggles reflected in the expert that's guiding them is crucial to building that trust, belief in their own capacity, and building that sense of community. That's what's going to create the ripple effects far beyond those that we touch. And so good morning, my name is Lucia de la Torre. I was born and raised here in Watsonville, and I've realized as an adult and as a parent just how many of the decisions and actions my parents made were informed by these micro communities they just happened to be a part of. This topic of sheer luck, we happen to live in the attendance area of the only dual immersion bilingual program in elementary school. So I grew up knowing my language was valuable and bilingualism was an asset. My mother was a Teamsters unionized employee of the NorCal Cressetti Cannery during the big strikes of the mid-'80s. So she got a crash course on employee rights and the strength of collective bargaining. And perhaps the most consequential to them and to our family was that they were able to gain legal residency after the passage of the Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1985. So just the right place, the right time. They came, like so many others continue to come, with lots of drive and dreams and debt. They just happen to land in certain places and within specific circles that really help them to understand the educational and legal landscape. And it's wild that a couple in their 20s without any formal education, undocumented, raised 4 kids who all attended college. One has 2 graduate degrees, not me, but one of my brothers does. And they realized their home of becoming homeowners in 1999, but that took 20 years, almost 20 years to the day from their arrival in the US. And so, like a few of my colleagues have shared, I joined Ventures because I wanted to address the root causes of inequity. I didn't want this sheer luck to be dictating whether you had access to reliable information and knew how to navigate these foreign systems. Ventures is also in my hometown and led by one of the most inspiring women I know, so it was a pretty easy decision. And it's great seeing all your faces this morning. And so far you've heard how Ventures responds to and with our community during a crisis, kind of immediately through UndocuFund, but also with feedback working towards longer term solutions like ALAS. But really, helping people and families understand their economic power is the foundation of all Ventures does. And Familias con Más is interwoven throughout all of our work. 5 years ago, there was a very intentional shift to adopt financial capability to a model that relied on behavioral economics and focused on a cohort model and financial coaching. We aim to create healthy financial habits in addition to more informed consumers. Through workshops, though workshops continue to be a part of how we share this information, they're really just the entry point to create those personal coaching relationships. coaching is collaborative. It's a responsive process. The goal isn't to check a box about services being delivered, but viewing participants as they are. They are knowledgeable persons who need assistance building skills to meet their own goals, who could use support and guidance while practicing new behaviors and building that capacity to lead and inform their local regional economic decisions. The knowledge that they can glean from these sessions can make immediate impacts, like knowing that reasonable loan terms or being able to get that next bigger apartment for their family requires that they're going to build or rebuild their credit in some instances. That extra money needed could come this year via applying for that ITIN number and filing their taxes. But also there's much longer term differences. That we can help everybody understand the benefits of banking and their rights as consumers. For example, a participant might start a coaching session feeling like, I'm so bad with money. But the reality is that the Pájaro and Salinas valleys are unusually expensive areas, and immigrant families are typically living off of about $30,000 a year. They are good with money. They're kind of magicians in some ways. They mostly need help understanding the US systems of credit and how to participate within these financial systems that they're now living in. And one of the intended consequences of helping participants adapt their financial habits is that they will then share these insights with their friends, family, but also they're going to model these habits for their children.
Very true, Lucia. I've seen how excited new parents get about the existence of Santa Cruz Seeds and what that will mean for their child. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure being here today. My name is Guillermina Silva, the youngest of 5, born and raised in Watsonville. My parents immigrated here over 40 years ago and were able to adjust their immigration status in 1985, like Lucia's parents. I'm a first-generation college graduate, but I put myself through college as an adult and parent of 3 children. My parents didn't have the educational background or understanding of U.S. system of higher education. They came to this country with one thing in mind, which was work. They worked in the fields and provided for their family. You can say I had it all, a roof over my head, food, and family. But there was something missing. It was expectation of something beyond that for me. My parents thought, you'll work your way up in a company through hard work. Little did they know that higher education was and continues to be a key component to bigger and better opportunities. This is one of the reasons I joined Ventures, and I'm excited to support parents through Santa Cruz Seeds. I share Santa Cruz Community Ventures' vision of a more equitable community for our families that are frequently left in the shadows. Creating a community with a vibrant and diverse economy, a skilled workforce, and shared prosperity doesn't happen overnight. It requires meaningful investments. This is why we must see to the future. Santa Cruz Seeds is committed to our kids. These accounts are a gift from the community and there's no cost to parents. Our goal is to welcome all children and give a sense of belonging while helping parents invest in their children's educational dreams. This is a universal children's savings account program in the Santa Cruz County and the result of a partnership between government, community, and health organizations who are all committed to supporting the educational dreams of our babies. Together, we're identifying ways to support parents to their child's early development while raising funds to ensure children have $500 by the time they turn 5 years old. The program has 3 goals: improve childhood development, create a college-going culture, build dedicated savings for post-secondary education, and healthy lifelong financial habits. Research has shown that children with even just $1 in a college savings account are 3 times more likely to attend college and 4 times more likely to graduate. This is even more true for children from low and moderate income families. In terms of process, the accounts are created automatically based on the county's Vital Statistics Office. We then reach out to parents to let them know about their Baby Seeds account, as well as offer our Familias con Más services to assist them in planning and setting goals for their family's future. Seed structure is simplified and straightforward for parents to understand. Seed's big impact lies with its power to change a child's and parents' perspective about what is possible for their future and dream big. We're very proud of each of our 999 babies and can't wait to see their savings grow as they grow.
Iya, thank you so much for all you do for our families and children. Good morning, everyone. My name is Fernanda Ocaña. I am the new program manager here at Santa Cruz Community Ventures. I will be speaking on Futuro Cooperative, one of our newest projects here in Santa Cruz Community Ventures. But before I do that, I want to share a bit on who I am, why I chose to join this team, and why I am so excited to be part of Futuro Cooperative. I was born in Zitácuaro, Michoacán in 1992 and immigrated to East Salinas in 1995. At the age of around 17, I became really active with a local nonprofit that was very involved in a new initiative that was coming in. I instantly became aware of a lot of the inequities that were taking place in my community, many of the things that I had actually normalized, just like my peers. And it was at that moment when I made a promise to myself that I was going to really push my career and my time in supporting others that, like myself, weren't aware of a lot of the inequities that were taking place in our community. And so I wanted to share today a little bit on why I decided to work for Santa Cruz Community Ventures. So throughout the years, I worked for different nonprofits. I then worked for a government institution for about 5-6 years. And I made the shift. And when people ask me, why did you change from a government institution to Santa Cruz Community Ventures? I told them it's for 2 reasons. 1, because they do things very different. They're very innovative. And 2, because they work with community to build up. In many places, which is, I understand that it's necessary to provide services to people, but we need more. And that is what I found Santa Cruz Community Ventures team does. And so as we speak about Futuro Cooperative, I want you to think about our current economic system and how you imagine the economic system to be a few years from now. I'm giving you a second to think. Okay, I hope that in your mind, just like in mine, the economic system will not look like it does now. As we know, the current system has left low-income immigrant workers, especially those in the communities we serve, behind with low wages that are not allowing them to thrive. Our local entrepreneurs, food vendors, childcare providers, and other local immigrant workers deserve to earn living wages that will allow for them to build wealth, understand their economic power, and advocate for themselves and those around them. In the next few months, we will be focusing on listening sessions where we will have low-income immigrant workers share with us their wants and needs in regards to building a cooperative business model. We will provide learning sessions for community members to learn about different cooperative structures, leadership skills, and we'll host workshops that will improve their understanding of their current economic power and the power they can reach. Through Futuro, our members will have the business operations support that is needed for them to thrive in a worker cooperative business model. We imagine Futuro to be the vehicle that will guide people to a living wage and understanding of their economic power and the reason for why they will advocate for themselves and those around them. I want to thank the Irvine Foundation for the funding support and for believing in the work we do. I hope that after listening to me, you are too inspired to join this work. At a young age, people created intentional opportunities for me, which have allowed me to be where I am today. And I hope that you join me and my team in creating intentional opportunities for the people we serve. We invite everyone to join this work and would love to answer any questions you may have during our Q&A portion later today. Thank you.
So you've seen what we can do on stage, and now I'd like to share a bit about our work and the team behind the scenes. We are Latina-led, and all of our team members' families have strong immigrant roots. The majority of us are first-generation college students and have grown up here in this community. Our people power translates to an in-community, by-community approach. In one form or another, our staff and their families have faced similar struggles as our clients in this very region. We know how hard they work and how big they dream. And through our lived experience, each team member has chosen to dedicate their time and care into building an equitable and inclusive economy for all. This includes working in policy arenas and claiming our seat at various tables. We advocate for our community and lend our insight to advance equitable approaches beyond our organization and region. We share the lessons we've learned, the best practices we've created, and actively seek to grow from the experiences of others as well. This is what has led to our work to address predatory lending, a Central Coast analysis for local capital and cooperative development, research of low-income moms' use of financial systems, and our youth financial capability efforts. This past year, we presented at national events hosted by Prosperity Now and the National Association for Latino Community Asset Builders. We're a member of the steering committee that is shaping California's Child Savings Account program, and we are proud of the work that we do, and even prouder of the values we uphold through that work and how our local work is informing state and national efforts to build a solidarity economy. If you know of other organizations who are tackling similar issues or asking themselves similar questions, please connect us. We're always looking to grow, learn, and share. This work takes a community, a movement in solidarity to bring to fruition. We've shared our vision of an equitable economy, and now we're going to ask you to connect with yours. Caitlin, our board treasurer, will guide us through the next activity.
Thank you so much, Ileana. And it's beautiful to be with you on Cesar Chavez Day and to hear Venture's vision of a new economy, which in many respects picks up where Cesar Chavez left off. So now I invite you to take a few deep breaths and settle in wherever you are. And if it's comfortable to close your eyes and to connect with your own vision for a just and sustainable world. A world where a solidarity economy, a regenerative economy that nourishes people and the planet is in place, is thriving. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? And taste? As you immerse in this new economy where people and planet are treated with love and dignity, how do you feel? And feeling your feet carry you or your bicycle wheel you through this new economy, a world fueled by caring and investment in people and regenerative activities. What is beneath you? A wooded path, a bicycle way alongside a rail, a clean beach, the dirt of a city park. As you look around, what kind of buildings and structures are present? What does the landscape look like? in the parks and the open spaces? Who is using these areas? And who are the people around you in this world that we're envisioning? Are they familiar? Perhaps some new faces? How are you connecting to and connected with them? And as you consider this vision that Ventures has painted of thriving families who experience dignity and safety and belonging, what have you come here to do to contribute to that vision? How will you participate in this movement toward a solidarity economy? Simply inviting in a few deeper breaths to just allow that vision to settle into your heart, into your mind and your body, to connect you to this amazing team and to all others who will play a role in realizing this vision. And then as you're ready, just releasing that image and rejoining us here in this Zoom room. Thank you, Ileana.
Thank you, Caitlin, for helping us individually paint a picture of our future, of our new economy as it speaks to our spirits. And with that, I'd like to open the floor for any questions or comments. Please feel free to unmute yourself, or you can ask questions in the chat. I'll be monitoring that for a conversation and sharing updates from that space as well. I know we just threw a lot at you, so.
This is Leslie. Thanks for your presentation, and I really appreciated understanding all the work that you're doing. And you have a lot of irons in the fire. I'm wondering if there's one particular initiative that is a priority over another one, or if you are sort of equally piloting a lot of different strategies.
I'll take that. Hi, Leslie. Thanks for joining us. We have, it may seem like a lot, but they're all interwoven and lean on each other. So Familias con Más is a thread that helps lift up the work that SEEDS is doing, for example, in terms of outreach to the parents. UndocuFund and ALAS are jointly working to understand with undocumented workers how to best reimagine our safety nets. And we have, quite frankly, amazing staff. You just met them all. They're fabulous. And they not only hold the vision of what we're trying to do, but they go above and beyond to make sure that we deliver the work in a way that really shows the respect we have for the people that we serve. And we're working jointly. So I would say that there's different projects in different stages that might make sense. Futuro is in its very birth and its very nexus of beginning. that has a tremendous need of support, like any newborn does. And so Fernanda is coming on board to really help lead that, and in partnership with myself. Seeds is like a teenager that has gone off to college. You know, we piloted for a year and a half. It's scaling up to county level, but it's very much designed to be an integrated program with a government and nonprofit partners. So it's the backbone of it has been designed to be much more automated, streamlined, and then the outreach of the work is going to be a collective of that collective body of leaders. So even though it's a big program, it's significant, it really has matured. The fund development aspect of that end, we contracted with support to help make that happen in the next few years to make that sustainable. So I think those two things. And DocuFund keeps surprising us. On DocuFund, we thought we create a way to immediately support fast relief, right? And initially, like Luis mentioned, we thought that'd be a 3-month endeavor. We're into year 2 almost. And we have another $1 million to give out in the next 3 months. So it's a combination of we're here to support it as much as we need to, and the community needs it, and we're able to do it, and also continue to innovate it, because like Luis said, it's about if the ALAS programs can prove how it's working, it might require additional staff to scale to more families, but it is much more impactful in the long term than a one-time cash relief aid to a family. So it all matters. It's all going on, but it really comes down to the fabulous staff that we have, and the recognition that some projects are maturing, some are beginning, and Familias con Más will always be a constant. One of the things that does happen though is that we are in different tables, like Ileana said, either myself or others are on advocacy around the state and regionally, because what we do here is not just about our community, but informing and pushing the national dialogue and the state dialogue to a solidarity economy. Santa Cruz, Monterey, San Benito counties reflect the same issues of inequities, of wealth gaps that we see across the world and across this country. What we're doing here in innovation is actually part of the solutions we want to see in the future. And we want to make sure that we're sitting at those tables and sharing those learnings.
Thank you.
Any other questions for us?
I have a question. This is Paula. Thank you all so much for the beautiful presentation and giving us that overview. In terms of the Futuro Cooperative, I know that y'all mentioned, in this phase, working on doing like community listening sessions from folks, and these new structures may work to benefit people who would be involved. Can you talk more about like what that process is like, or like what else are the steps leading into the development of that, or maybe like what other partners you're working with on that?
Thank you, Paula. And the sound was cutting off a little bit. So do you mind repeating the question? I do apologize.
Sure. Can you hear me? I was just saying, if you could talk a little bit more about like the community listening part to developing the Futuro Cooperative, like what are the other steps that go into making that something, and maybe like who are the partners that you're working with to create that?
Thank you. That's a great question. And so part of the listening sessions will focus really on just hearing from the community. We want to make sure that this is community led, although it will be guided by us, and to have a better understanding of what it is that they wish for this cooperative to look like and be. At the same time, we will be providing different trainings that will allow them to better understand the economic structure, but not only that, but how it is that they can continue to build on their businesses. And we'll also have some trainings that would allow for them to pick up on those skills that they're in need of. And we'll do that through the different partnerships with different agencies that are already doing that. And so we'll bring in the experts to provide that information as we're creating a sense of community within that community, but also as we're building our team. And Maria, I don't know if you wanted to add a little bit more on that.
Yeah, so the Futuro is kind of the result of both the conversations and trainings that we had with clients that we serve through El Pájaro Community Development Corporation, clients that we serve through ALBA, and also just the Familias con Más conversations that we had and the ENDACA Fund recipients, right? This need to figure out how do we ensure vehicles for financial sustainability of immigrant workers in particular. But we also had done in the past a lot of efforts to analyze the Central Coast cooperative ecosystem, including the opportunities to develop local capital. And over the last 2 years, we had worked with the Santa Cruz Workforce Development Board to really look at how do we look at business succession into employee-owned vehicles. So that includes working with DAWI, the Democracy at Work Institute, for that work at the high level, and also with another partner, also a national partner who was doing succession planning to that end, Project Equity. So they are our partners. We actually just got off a call a day ago, 2 days ago, Fernanda, with DAWI to talk about the curriculum development that could be done and doing a sub cohort across the nation of models that are similar, but not quite what we're trying to do, but similar. So we can learn from each other and figure it out. We also created a subgroup. There's not that many. This is a new field. So there's about 4 other co-op developers that mimic the justice lens that we bring to the work, because it's not just about creating businesses. It is not just about creating Latino businesses. It's about creating a solidarity economy and how do they all fit together. So we've been trying to schedule kind of quarterly calls with each other because we're all doing it slightly different to make sure that we're informing kind of what's going on. So we're building on the networks that we had. Those are a few examples of agencies that we work with. And then I know we reached out to the Sustainable Law Center as well to look at the legal structure of what this body could look like and how it could function. So we're building on those relationships that we had, and then starting, like Fernanda said, those are great. We have a great sketch of where we want to go. And yet we cannot commit to you exactly what it's going to look like because it'll depend on those listening sessions and those conversations with the community.
Thank you, Maria, and thank you, Paula. It's so nice to be able to speak so openly about our work and give updates that we might not necessarily have the time to just give like that. Like, I didn't know we just spoke with Dowd. That's awesome. That being said, does anybody else have anything they want to learn about, whether it's respect to seeds, who we are? The floor is yours.
I'll go. Hi, everyone. Adriana Saldivar from the Latino Community Foundation. Thank you so much for hosting this open house. I've learned so much, and I really appreciate meeting the full team. I've only spoken to a couple of you, so this has been great. As far as the question, you described some of your key programs. I'm wondering, how can we support your work? Some of us might be funders, but beyond funding, like what is it that the community can do to support and amplify the work the Ventures is doing?
I'll jump in because I have so many things, but Ileana, do you tell me? I think being here is a big, if you can share the recording with others, if you think of tables or leaders that have similar wavelengths or similar approaches, like Ileana mentioned, we need to learn. And we need to build on each other as we build this community. Sometimes we know that we're slightly different than a service agency, right? But we can also learn from service providers. So any table, any space, or if there's opportunities for us to present at different regional or state tables, it's also important just because it helps create that echo on the need of the work that we do. Ileana, I don't know if, or anybody in the team want to say anything else?
I would just like to echo what you mentioned, Maria. We are always learning and growing. And I think that's one of the values that just speaks so much to me, is we understand what we understand and that there's more to understand. And to that end, it would be so helpful if you can just help us connect with where these conversations are happening, other thought like-minded thinkers and movers and shakers, people that aren't scared to just, shake a tree a little bit and cause just enough ruckus, because we're not going to get to where we want to go without that. And we would greatly appreciate that. Please help us open doors, help us grow our knowledge base and grow our community, so that what we bring to this region really helps us fulfill our mission. And then what we share out with others about what's worked for us helps us spread that work and replicate it and scale it, so that it brings us one step closer to equitable communities for all. I mean, we have to start somewhere, so we're starting with our region, but there are other people that are working in their own community, and we want to help support that as well. If there's any program specific asks or requests, I will leave it to our team members who are focused on those specific areas of work. And just one quick shout out for SEEDS, because we've made a very long-term commitment to our babies, and right now we're very much looking to keep that commitment and garner some support so we can fund those accounts in perpetuity. If you want to learn more about that, please let me know. Team, anything else that you would like to add?
Just a huge thank you for the funders on this meeting. You believe in us, and we hope that we can fulfill our trust that you have placed in us, but you have made it possible for us to achieve what we've done in the last 5 years. So thank you so much. Thank you for your time this morning.
Deep appreciation. You and your team are doing incredible work. And just one thing before we close, that I'm just so in awe in this moment of crisis, how you all persevere in reimagining and innovating, because I know it's an incredibly tough challenge to balance that in a time of crisis upon crisis. So really deep appreciation for all you are doing.
I wanted to jump in there. This is Lorraine Iglesias, and I'm a new board member, and I am so excited to be a part of the movement. And I just thank you to the funders that are here as well. And it's a very root cause program initiatives that you have. So I'm just in awe of all the work. So I'm very honored to be a part of this organization and support it. So thank you for creating this space so I could learn even more about what you all are doing.
Okay, I think we have, if there's just one last question or comment that anyone wants to share out, we have time for one more before we conclude today. Any last minute burning questions that will keep you up at 3 a.m. at night that we can just take off your plate right now? All right, well, to echo on behalf of the team and to echo the sentiments of many shared here today, thank you everyone for being here, for making the time for us to learn about us and for allowing us to be in community with you. Our village of supporters, you touch our hearts. We can't wait to see you again in person and welcome you with open arms at any time. If you have anything that you need or any questions come up, please feel free to reach out. This PowerPoint has our emails on it, and I will share the recording shortly after the meeting so that you can have the webinar as well. Our email, I like to say our email boxes are open 24/7, so don't hesitate to get in touch if you need anything. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.